I will be your shelter, open on all sides. I will take you in and stand by your side. No matter where you come from or where you'd rather be, I will be your sanctuary. There is a lesson embedded in this Torah portion, Tazria Mitzorah, about how we can be a sanctuary. And it lies in the repeated phrase, Vayar HaKohen V'hinei. The priest shall look and behold. We read this description of how one should respond when confronted with difficulty, in this case, an ancient skin disease, over 30 times in this week's Torah portion. Vayar HaKohen V'hinei. The priest shall look and behold. Look at something deeply uncomfortable, unpleasant, and even scary, and behold it, truly take it in. Whenever a phrase is repeated in the Torah, it is an intentional and meaningful choice, an invitation to look closer. Here, the Torah offers us valuable insight about our natural inclination when confronted with something unpleasant or uncomfortable, which is to turn away from it, to avoid it, or to banish it from the camp, as the Israelites did with a diseased person. Here, the Torah asks us to do something different. Rather than turn away from the challenge, we are asked to look at it and take it in. Because the problem, which is so annoying and inconvenient, is that avoiding difficulty doesn't make it disappear. Our Torah portion gives us these repeated reminders to actually turn towards what we want to avoid. Only by turning towards can we find a path to healing, a path to inviting the ostracized person back into the camp, and coming together as a full community where no one is excluded. Right here and now at Temple Israel in 2026, our goal is the same as it was for our ancestors, to come together as a full community where no one feels on the outside. This is our congregational intention, and it is also one of my personal priorities as a Cantor. I'm sensitive to the need for inclusivity because of my own experience as a queer person and someone who grew up in an interfaith family. I know what it's like to feel on the outside, to wonder if you will be accepted, and to sense that people have some subconscious fear or dislike of you based on your upbringing, politics, or beliefs. Because I know the pain of being excluded, I work extra hard to ensure that our community is a space where everyone can feel invited, included, and secure, especially across lines of difference. I feel this imperative now more than ever as our broader society tries to push us in the opposite direction. Our modern world doesn't like subtlety and nuance, preferring to sort everything into binary categories. Social media feeds and real-life interactions alike have become so black and white, so all or nothing, that it feels like we've lost the ability to see each other as full, complex human beings in the face of difference. This has been especially true for us when approaching the topic of Israel. One of the most painful aspects of this post-October 7th era has been witnessing the way we are turning away from one another within the Jewish community. It can sound like this: if you believe this, then we are no longer friends. If you support this leader, then you are not welcome in my circle. If you believe that, then you don't care about the Jewish people. This way of relating to each other causes a fear and pain that sometimes troubles me more than the increased hatred coming from outside the Jewish community. When we dismiss someone entirely based on what we think we know of their view on a topic, we are not taking the Torah's instruction to turn towards one another, to sit with the discomfort of disagreement. We may think we are avoiding difficulty, but we are actually deepening the divides in our relationships. The ancient Israelites knew that the only way back to a complete and healed community where no one was excluded was to truly see each other, even and especially across lines of difference. For me, speaking publicly on Israel has been a difficulty that I've avoided. And I've avoided it because, as a clergy person, I lead with relationship. I want to learn about your family, your childhood, your children, and your grandchildren. I want to understand what's important to you, what worries you, and how you view the world. Once we're in relationship, it becomes infinitely easier to navigate conflict and disagreement. So that's why it feels scary to stand up on the bema and speak about a topic as potentially divisive as Israel. I worry that something I say will make you feel less safe or make you question if there's space for you here. And yet, since I want to encourage us to turn towards difficulty and not avoid it, I need to do that myself. And I need to trust, as I encourage us all to trust, that there is goodwill enough and space enough and compassion enough for us to navigate divergent views together and not have it feel catastrophic. So this is me turning towards. I had never been to Israel before I moved there in 2007 to begin my first year of cantorial studies on the Jerusalem campus of Hebrew Union College. I hadn't learned much about Israel in childhood, so I approached it with completely fresh eyes. I fell in love with the beauty of the land and the complex fierceness and tenderness of the people. Today, almost 20 years later, I am hurt and worried by what seems to me a fundamental misunderstanding of Israel from outside the Jewish community. We cannot equate the people of Israel with the government of Israel. Just like in America, where the administration doesn't speak for the entirety of the American people, so too in Israel. It pains me when the broader community criticizes Israel and fails to specify that the critique is aimed at the government and not the citizens themselves. I have found myself at times deeply uncomfortable with some of the choices of Israel's current administration, but never with the humanity of its citizens. Maybe you feel how I feel, nervous to speak about a potentially divisive topic, loving Israel, finding yourself at times uncomfortable with the decisions of its current government. Or maybe your views are completely different from mine. No matter where we sit on Israel, or really any potentially divisive topic, let us take our cues from the Torah. Rather than turning away from what is uncomfortable, unpleasant, and scary, let us turn towards it. Let us learn from our ancestors that the only path back to a whole and healed community is to lean in to the discomfort of disagreement and to truly see one another. May we trust that there is goodwill enough, space enough, and compassion enough for us to navigate divergent views together with grace and with courage. Vayar hakohen v'hinei. May we see each other and take each other in.